If you've never written a single line of code in your entire life, I promise this explainer is going to change that. Seriously, by the time we're done here, you will have written your very first honest-to-goodness Python program.
Okay, so let's get right into it. We're talking about Python, which is one of the most popular, most powerful programming languages on the planet. But don't let that intimidate you. The real magic of Python is how simple it is. It's designed to be readable, almost like plain English, which makes it the absolute perfect place for us to start our journey.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll cover the why. Why Python is such a great choice. Then we'll get our coding space set up. After that, we'll learn just only three basic ideas. We'll use those to build a simple calculator, figure out how to fix it when it breaks, and at the very end, we'll celebrate the fact that you're officially a programmer. You ready? Let's do it.
All right, let's kick things off with that first big question, the why. I mean, with all the programming languages out there, why are we starting with Python? It's a really good question.
Well, what makes Python so special is just how versatile it is. The language is super clean, which means you write less code to get the same job done. But the real kicker is that it's a general-purpose language. That means the exact same skills you use to build a website can also be used to analyze data for scientists or even build a video game. You're learning one key that unlocks 1,000 different doors. And this quote really gets to the heart of it. Python wasn't created for some secret club of geniuses. It was built for everybody. This has nothing to do with being a math whiz. It's just about learning how to give a computer a clear set of instructions. If you can use a computer, I promise you, you can learn Python.
Okay, so we're on board with the why. Now let's talk about the where. Every artist needs a studio, every chef needs a kitchen, and every programmer needs a coding environment. This is just the place where you're going to write and run your code.
So you've got two great options here, and there is no wrong answer. You could go the professional route and install a tool like VS Code right on your computer. Or, and this is what I recommend for today, you can use an online tool like Replit. The huge advantage here, there's nothing to install. You just open a website and you can start coding right away. It's the fastest way to get started.
All right, our workshop is ready to go. So, what are the tools we're going to use? Well, you're going to love this. To build our little calculator, we only need to learn count them, three basic concepts. That is it.
First up is something called a variable. Don't let the technical name throw you. Think of it like a storage box. You just slap a label on it, and then you put some information inside. That's all it is. It's how a program remembers things, like a score in a game or a username. And here's exactly what that looks like. We're creating a box, labeling it price, and putting the number 10 inside. Super simple, right? Now, whenever our program sees the word price, it knows we're talking about the number 10.
Our second building block is called a string. Now, this is just a fancy programmer word for text. That's it. Anytime you're dealing with words, letters, or sentences, you just wrap them in quotation marks. That's how Python knows you're talking about text.
And here we go again, a perfect example. We're making another one of our storage boxes, this time labeling it message, and inside we're putting the text hello world. See the pattern? And our third and final tool for today is the print function. Now, a function is just a command that tells the computer to do a specific job. And the print function's job is super simple. It tells the computer, hey, take whatever's inside these parentheses and show it on the screen. So let's recap. We've got variables to store stuff, strings for text, and the print function to see what's going on. We have all the pieces. It's time to put them together and actually build something. So, a calculator needs numbers to work on, right? The first thing our program has to do is ask the person using it for those numbers. And luckily, Python has another handy function called input that does exactly that.
And here's the code. See that first line? It asks the user for a number, then takes their answer and stores it in a variable called num1. Then it does the exact same thing for num2. Then our plan is to add them together and print out the answer. Seems logical, right? So let's run it and see what happens. And uh-oh, it broke. But wait, don't panic. This is not a failure. This might be the single most important lesson in programming. An error message isn't a stop sign. It's a clue. It's a computer trying its best to help us out. Okay, I know, that looks like a whole bunch of confusing gobbledygook, but let's just ignore most of it and look at the important part. See where it says stir and stir? Remember what stir is short for? String, as in text.
And that's the whole problem right there.
By default, the input function treats everything it gets as a string. So when you typed in the number 5, Python saw it as the character 5. So it wasn't trying to do math, it was just trying to smush the text 5 and the text 3 together, which gives you 53.
So how do we fix this? Easy. We just have to tell Python, hey, I know this looks like text, but I want you to treat it like a number. And you guessed it, there's a function for that. It's called int, int, which is short for integer, another word for a whole number.
And check this out. It's a tiny change. Before we add num1 and num2, we just wrap each of them inside our new int function. That converts them from text to numbers, and now the plus sign actually does math. It works. You just fixed your first bug.
And just like that, you did it. Take a second to think about what just happened. You wrote a program that takes input from a user, processes it, and gives back an output. You even found an error, diagnosed the problem, and fixed it. That is programming. So congratulations, you are officially a programmer. So, what's next? Well, those few basic skills you just learned, variables, getting input, printing things out, and changing types, they're the foundation for almost everything. You are already prepared to build any of these fun little projects. A number guessing game, that's just getting input and comparing numbers. A Mad Libs game is just playing with strings. You can do this.
You have already taken the biggest, hardest step, which is always the first one. You've proven to yourself that you can do this. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build next?